Good evening, everybody. It is currently the 21st of September 2014, making this update during the evening hours here on Sunday, right about 7 p.m. Taiwan Standard Time. That's about 10 UTC for those of you watching around the world. We are continuing to watch Tropical Storm Fung-Wong, and you can see here on the latest satellite imagery, this storm has just been straddling the mountains of Taiwan, and it's actually been making the track kind of meander back from the west towards the east. Actually, the original prediction was supposed to take that center of circulation along the western portions of the mountains. Up until recently, the Joint Typhoon Warning Center actually had their track going towards the west here, but just as that storm system was making landfall, that spine of mountains that runs through the center of this island, well, significant friction to the storm, and it made it jog really far towards the right. Now, as far as the impact on Taiwan, it doesn't really change much. The storm system's still expected to stay weak. We're still seeing a storm about 50, gusting up to 65 knots. That despite kind of a opening in the center of circulation. It looked like an eye, but I think it was more dry air inflow. Regardless, the biggest problem coming out of this storm system is still the rainfall and just all that moisture continuing to sweep in from the east here. You can see some areas of southeastern Taiwan well over 300 millimeters. Actually, one location in the past 48 hours has seen well over 500 millimeters of total precipitation. Good friend videographer James Reynolds actually out there today in Taiwan documenting the storm, and it's starting to see these rivers really rise up out here. Actually waiting for his footage to come in. I'm sure he's going to get some pretty decent video of a lot of these rivers continuing to rise. Also, videographer Jim Eds, watch out for his video. Follow him at Extreme Storms on Twitter because he's going to be shooting one of these dams that will likely overflow, and it always makes for some pretty incredible images. Now, we do know the rain is going to continue to come down in Taiwan. The good news is most of it has let up for those of you across the Philippines still recovering from the just absolutely devastating and damaging floods that occurred out here. 5 people did die in the Philippines because of a storm system due to the rainfall, not the winds, but the heavy rain. Several people drowned and also electrocution. So as we continue to look ahead, as far as the tropical forecast with this storm, really it's going to continue to impact Taiwan, but then expecting this to move off towards the west-northwest, eventually making landfall just south of Shanghai into eastern China here. And by that point, it's really going to bring a lot of moisture with it. Flooding is possible along the eastern portions of the country here, but for the most part, this is going to be losing a lot of its tropical characteristics once it gets farther off here towards the north. Plus, it'll be encountering vertical wind shear. So really, as far as our named Fung-Wong, really going to be ending at this point by Wednesday. Doesn't mean the storm system's over, though, because this is going to gather some extra tropical strength. And I do think it's going to be a big rainmaker, not only for Korea, but most of Japan by Thursday, bringing some widespread showers across much of the country out here. So if you are in mainland Japan, you think the storm system way to the west, eventually it will make its way around here, but for now it's really eastern China that are going to be seeing the biggest brunt of this. Now, by no means would I be expecting a typhoon to come towards those of you in the Shanghai. Actually, JTWC expecting winds only around 30 to 40 knots once it makes landfall, so actually a tropical depression by that point. It is still going to be having a lot of moisture with it. And you can take a look at the GFS, let's say 72-hour rainfall accumulation. We'll just use the ECMWF here, and this shows out the 72 hours. And you can see these areas just south of Shanghai really start to feel that heavy amount of rainfall. And even scroll out to 96, it's still these areas, and eventually all that precipitation pushes off towards the east. But I do think there is that risk still of some flooding for a few locations out here. But as far as what we are going to be seeing over the next several days, that's really the big topic. Our storm system eventually tracking there and off towards the northeast. Meanwhile, it's still pulling in a lot of moisture from the east. So you can see that big band of where this precipitation is going to be occurring over the next several days. Still northern portions of Luzon and also the Indochina Peninsula. That's that enhancement of the monsoon we always talk about. And pretty clearly you can see it here on this imagery. That is going to be all for right now, everybody. Thanks again for watching here at westernpacificweather.com. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, always please post them down there in the comment box below. And as always, stay safe out there.